The Chambers is one of those organisations that tries to be all things to all people, which has challenges in itself.
Yeah.
So essentially we're championing successful businesses in Surrey, and what I mean by that is that we're helping them to be successful. So it doesn't mean that you have to be a successful business to be a member of the Chamber, but you have to be a business that wants to help themselves. And of course we don't provide all the help. That would be amazing if we could, but what we do is we try and make sure that we link into all the other organisations, like the university in all sorts of guises, like the local councils, because they have things on offer, but they don't always get the message out to businesses. So we're sort of the bit in the middle, really, a bit of a catalyst. We do a lot of listening to businesses so that we know what it is that's really bothering them, and we have opportunities to feed back to government through British Chambers of Commerce. And that happens all the time. I mean, it's constant. There is, as we sit here, there will be somebody from the British Chambers with one of the ministers at Westminster talking about skills or transport or business support or local enterprise partnerships. You know, that is happening all the time. So it's brilliant. We have that sort of very quick link into the government and making sure that they're listening to what is it that upsets businesses, like business rates, the tax that happens before you've even sold a single item of product or service. You have to pay business rates. So things like that. But then maybe bring it back a bit more locally. What we try to do is make sure that we're helping businesses to promote themselves, to get their messages out to the various potential customers. We do a lot around export readiness, so we can help businesses who actually quite often are not thinking of exporting, but we do cajole them, because that's the only way that we'll ever get the UK economy, really firing on all cylinders, and that is by getting more people to export. And I don't know, everybody I speak to, there's hardly anyone who could not export their product or service. But they think, oh no, nobody would be interested, particularly actually in the training field. Certainly the feedback we get from chambers overseas is that they love British trainers. So if somebody over here is running a training programme or training company, they've got lots of opportunity to sell their services overseas. So anyway, we really try and help them to do that. We help them to market themselves through our various vehicles, the magazine, the website, the member-to-member type communications. And also we're connecting them constantly. So I suppose that's where we sort of came into the business school some years ago and saw the potential for connecting the right sort of businesses with the right parts of what were going on at the business school. And, if a project is being put together, then, it's usually not any business that is going to be appropriate. But because we reach out to all sorts of businesses, we can sort of filter it and, home in on the ones that really could be interested. So we're at Catalyst. Because we're dealing with sole traders right the way through to the big corporates, and we have Canon UK on board, we have Asahi, which I'm sure will be familiar with many people, the nice beer that they make. They also market Peroni now, since they bought out SAB Miller. We work with JTI, we work with most of the borough councils, which actually are like large customers for smaller businesses, because boroughs and Surrey County Council and obviously the university and the colleges, they employ lots of people, which means they need lots of products and services. They both of the airports, we work with Heathrow and Gatwick. So it's trying to create a sort of a bit of a platform and an opportunity for all those organisations to come together, all across Surrey. So it
sounds exciting.
Massive.
Big job.
It is. The one thing we could do with more of is just people. I mean, that is what we, essentially what our product is people who are out on the ground, who are listening to businesses, who are matching them with what they're looking for, who are tying up those sort of connections. And I will say that very often we'll be involved with a large organisation, and we could actually introduce two people within that organisation to each other for a project, because they haven't actually come across each other within the organisation. And that has happened quite a lot of times, and I think it's because we sort of go into different organisations at completely different levels, different departments, and every so often we think, well, hang on, that department's working on this and that department is. So it even works at, you know, at the large sort of company level.